Hey guys. Okay, so this is going to be part 2 of our Levels of Change series, and I'm actually going to split this up into 2 different parts. So in this first part, I want to talk about behaviors and skills, and then in the second part, I will talk about habits. So there's this thing that I love that I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with called Pinterest fails. So basically what it is somebody will post some amazing, project that they did on Pinterest, like some amazing birthday cake they made for their kid's birthday party or whatever. And it's just amazing. And then somebody else will try to do it, try to replicate it, and just it bombs, right? It's like the cake's like falling apart. And then they'll post the 2 pictures side to side and, put something funny like nailed it or hashtag Pinterest fails or whatever. And by the way, I'm so that person. I've actually done this, right? So that's why it's partly so funny to me. But the lesson there is that, we know we're not really comparing apples to apples, right? The person that posted the original picture is probably somebody that has done this many times. This is not their first time making, this cake. They probably have this skill set to do it. And of course, the person that attempted it for the first time didn't, right? And I think what's so important, the lesson to pull from that is that when we incorporate something new or we try something new, we can go ahead and guarantee it's going to be pretty terrible the first time. We can just go ahead and surrender to that fact. And that's how it's supposed to be, right? Because we have to learn, and the only way to learn is to mess up, right? So take something like meal planning. I think a lot of people think, okay, well, I have these recipes, I have these meals, I'm just going to do it, it's going to be great, done. And then it can oftentimes be a little bit overwhelming. Meals don't turn out the way you thought they would. There can be all sorts of things that happen, and the tendency might be to say, oh gosh, well, this is really hard. I can't do this, right? Or I'm not good at this. And neither of those may be true. It's just that, like anything, it's a skill, right? And the more you do it, and the more you practice, you're going to learn, how to do it better and what to add and what to take away and how to become more efficient, to where over time, it becomes something that's much easier to do and incorporate into your life. So the main thing that I want to stress with skills is obviously repetition is important, but also just understanding anytime you do something new, it's going to probably be pretty terrible at first, right? And if you go back to the analogy that I used of, somebody that's learning to play a sport for the first time, we talked about basketball, the first time they get up to do free throws, it's probably going to be bad. They're going to be lucky if they get 1 in 20, right? But they keep practicing and practicing, and the goal is not to go from 1 in 20 to 20 in 20. The goal is to go from 1 in 20 to 2 in 20, and then keep practicing and then get 3 out of 20, and so forth and so on until they get into those higher numbers. So what I really want to stress to you guys is, and one thing I'm really learning in my own life, is that it's totally okay if when we try something new, it's not great. In fact, go ahead and expect it not to be great. But then instead of getting discouraged by it, just say, okay, what can I learn from this? And to keep going, keep practicing until it really does become something that is much easier, and we'll look back and be like, oh wow, look how far I've come. So that is, again, skills, and just keep going, keep practicing no matter what it is that you're incorporating into your life, and I promise it will get easier. So that's skills and behaviors, and then part 2, we're going to talk about habits.